and we're going to unmute everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, beautiful beings.
Morning.
Hi, Fred. Hi, Antonia. Carlos, welcome. And Nora, fantastic. We have people from all over the world.
That's right.
Like Peru or maybe also Peru. I don't know. It's sending the one in Peru and Mexico and Thailand and little everywhere, France and Sweden and everywhere. This is so cool. And Canada. Wow, this is so cool. Thank you all for joining. And we are very, very excited to have you over and for this launch of Quantum Conversation that we started with Benoit about years ago, and Benoit, I put you on a co-host. Let me just check.
Yes.
No, make a co-host. Great, that's it, your co-host. Yeah, so we started that with Benoit about 2 years ago. We then switched to French, and then a couple of months ago, we've been called out to do it in English again, and we had the beautiful gift arriving, which is Michelle, that's joining the team. So I'm very pleased to introduce Michelle, who's GFL ambassador and Akashic record reader. She's going to introduce herself. Most of you know Benoit and I. With Benoit, we've been working for quite a while now together, and we're expanding our team. So welcome, Michelle, on this journey, and so excited to do that with you and for you to do this monthly event with us.
Yes. So yeah, I'm really excited to join the team. I met Benoit recently and then obviously met you, Penelope, and it's been a really good mix of our energy and frequency just really beautifully interacting with one another with, you know, similar beliefs and understandings of what it's going to take to move as many as possible into the new earth. And as you mentioned, I'm a Akashic record reader and healer, and I am a starseed activator that works directly with light workers and those who are ready to step fully into their gifts. That is one of the soul earth assignments that I have here, is to steward as many as possible out of the old versions of themselves and into the new versions. And it's been a pleasure to continue to do that. And yes, I'm also work with the Galactic Federation of Light and channel in information from them so that as many as possible are aware of the just immense amount of help that we are receiving every moment of every day. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I'm so pleased and so honored also. And for those who do not know me, I'm been through like a lot of things through my life, and now a quantum coach and QHHT practitioner and Enneagram coach. So I mix those tools and add up other to help people to free themselves from their beliefs and recurring patterns. And we've been working a lot with energetic clearing also, because they go together. So it's a balance between the energy and the emotional. So I try to mix it together. So like Michelle, she has also her energy clearer. Benoit and I, we have one also that's working with us that is absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's a great challenge. It's a great work. It's a great path, and we're very excited. So very briefly before passing the word, the parole to Benoit, it's to say hi. So we're going to ask you guys to go on mute if it's possible, so we don't have interference. And whenever you want to talk, you can raise the hand or just start talking, unmute yourself and start talking. It's a free space with the motto being free speech, no judgment. So, so Michelle is going to also do a little calling first, and then I will do the protection. And then we're going to channel the energy of the now and share what we feel of the energy of the now. And then we start the Q&A. And if there's a mini coaching going through the Q&A and someone wants to have a mini coaching, we'll answer your question as much as possible and we'll tune in as much as possible. So yeah, Benoit, go for it. The man of the situation. Yeah, introduce yourself for the people who do not know.
A quick introduction. And recently, I'd like to, instead of talking for hours, I like to say that my life experience is to live in with humility and in integrity on purpose. And so in my life path today, I help people be themselves as life coaching and emotional healer like Virginie. And that's why we've been working a lot together. And I guess the short word is I'm a counselor for self-acceptance and an integrity coach. Voilà. Yeah. And I'm based in California. I'm currently north of Los Angeles, although I live near San Francisco.
And you will be in Paris with me.
I will be in Paris next week.
It's very exciting to have you visit for like a whole week where we can, work together. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Michelle, do you want to?
Yes.
start?
So there is a invocation that I channeled about a year ago, and the intention or the reason for it is that it brings in all of the protection and all of the beings that want to join us and support us, and they come in. I can see them come in a circle, and it creates.
Oops.
We lost you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Oh, I was unmuted. Okay, so I'll try that again. There is an invocation that I channeled a little over a year ago, and I use this before doing all work with clients and with groups, and it brings in all of the beings that want to support us, and it creates a safe container around us. So it's also very grounding, and it's just this beautiful way of setting the space. So you can just listen, close your eyes, get grounded, whatever you want to do. It's called the doorway. O winged ones, the dragons, the fireflies, great white Pegasus, she dragonfly, Lucy, sweet hummingbird, flap your wings to make the wind on our face. Eagle, condor, lead the way. O pod ones, jaguar, snow leopard, marguerite, lovely cheetah, come paw around our circle. Join us, beloved finned ones, ye dolphin pod, siren sister mermaids, wise whales, come sing us your song. O serpent, show us how to slither so easily out of our skin, so that we may begin again and again. Great sequoias of this land, ground our earthly bodies of existence in the ways that you have existed for thousands of years. Teach us how to be of this earth as if home couldn't be anywhere but here. Galactic Council, star families, 5D, 7D, 9D, 12D densities. Show us how to live a multidimensional existence, so that the riches of this lifetime and our true soul potential can come forward and together in all aspects with crystalline clarity. Show us, help us, upgrade, download, transmit your wisdom and knowledge to us so seamlessly that we remember all our abilities and who we truly are. Ascended masters who have walked this earth many lives before, during, and after this calling to you, please show us an easier, more divine alignment that will allow us to serve others in this great awakening of ascension. Archangels, deities, gods, goddesses, and elementals, watch over us. Allow us to feel your wings, your breath, your protection, your wisdom, your magic. Initiate, seed, open the possibilities so that we can carry on the grace of your gifts as you see fit. O great all, being of no thing and everything, creator, creatrix, one from whom we are all ignited. Let us feel ourselves, see ourselves, be ourselves in the one true source of oneness. Let us shed all that rings of separation. Let us see that we are creation. Please walk us now to the doorway of the highest version of ourselves that are available to us in this moment of divine nonlinear time.
Ooh. Wow, so powerful. Thank you. I'm going to quickly put protective shields also on everybody, if that's okay. If you don't want it, it's okay too, just to clear the space, to secure the space for not having interference. So it takes me like 5 seconds basically. So I already visualized. Okay. Okay, so if you feel like putting in the chat some question, do it freely, ask anything you want. And in the meantime, we're going to start by sharing what's been happening and downloading onto the energy of the now. What I can share for now is everything that's been happening since the portal of the 6th of June that's been amplifying about a new level of consciousness. And I've channeled that since February 2020, this new level of consciousness. And therefore, it's really something that cannot really seen from the human eyes, but it can be felt. So a lot of you may have felt dizziness, headache, like the body is kind of in a super slow motion. Extra slow motion. What else? Yeah, ears bursting, this kind of stuff. And today was very strange with everything that's been happening in the last 48 hours. Like we're speaking with Michelle and Benoit right before. I felt like being into some, like the Truman Show, but to another level. You know, it's like I could observe all those different timelines. So I needed to go to the park to ground myself, to really try. I was like, okay, what's happening here? It was like, this is so strange. I've experienced that before because hopping in different timelines is something, or different realities is something that I'm becoming to be pretty aware of. But today was to another extent. So I knew something quite interesting would happen today. I didn't get the answer before experiencing it physically and being the observer of my multiple realities. And that was quite interesting. So happy to hear what you guys have to say also of the energy of the now.
I can go.
Yeah.
So I've, what I've been experiencing in the last, I'd say 4 months or so is just this profound change of the way that time is working. So I'd been experiencing for several years where I could tell that I was slipping out of linear time based on my memories, not being necessarily feeling like they were in order. So I could reference something that happened on Tuesday, but my mind, it would feel more like something that happened 2 years ago. So just memories of like recall feeling very differently. And just a real magnification of that is I've been seeing in the last 4 months, like my schedule is very time blocked. I've got the, Google Calendar and 1.5 hour, session slots. Like, so it's like everything is really time blocked, yet it feels so different than that. Even though I'm following a time, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like I'm in this like tie-dye container. And if something is really important, that gap slows down, almost like taffy being pulled apart. So if I'm experiencing an activation or I'm working with a client that I know their work is going to be deeply profound in the world, it will feel, I will see time almost like this rubber band pull apart. And our time together, that's typically 75 minutes or 90 minutes. It feels like at the end of that session, we've been sitting there for 4 or 5 hours. And it feels like for both of us, we've just gone through this marathon. There's actually someone on the call right now that I experienced that with, where at the end of it, we were both just like, felt like we'd been here for days, and just this intense experience of like, did we just do a marathon? Have we been here for days? Has it been 15 minutes? Just this real sense of time really breaking down. And then I also say to people, the indication too is like, if something feels like it's lasting longer, it's because it's supposed to. It's because there's more being put into the pauses. There's more activations happening. There's more clearing happening. All that being said, it feels like the last 4 months has been 20 minutes. So
especially Actually, June. June was like
Yeah.
June.
Yeah. And they say that I've heard this recently, that what every day right now is the equivalent to the old like paradigm of 8 months. So that's how much of a trajectory and that change that you can make, and how much is capable for us on up leveling ourselves, our understanding, our paradigm, releasing that, just the magnitude of this, of what impact you can make and the limiting beliefs you can shed and the neural pathways you can drop. So much now is capable inside of very short amounts of time that change the trajectory of your life dramatically.
Yeah, I completely agree.
The perspective I want to offer is even coming at it from a different angle, because this timeline is something that's definitely been puzzling me, and to really understand what I'm experiencing. You know, like everybody else, I don't know what happened to 2020, 2021 just went, and we're already in the middle of 2022. I understand that's moving to higher frequencies through the ascension process, to higher dimensional existence, that time goes faster. Like we go to fourth dimension, 4 years becoming 1 year. So I don't even know what's in the 5D. The main thing for the perspective that I want to offer right now is this feeling that I'm that consciousness that comes in and out of this existence, and that I keep bouncing from lifetime to parallel reality, and then coming back in this body and losing all sense of time, like I'm traveling through time. And then I'm back here, and I don't remember where I was and how it, and it's very difficult to explain. Just that I'm experiencing consciously that I am not attached to this time-space coordinate, basically. Mm-hmm. And I'm becoming aware of all the possibilities of existence in this reality and parallel realities, and in the past and in the future. And also in terms of, you know, space coordinate, and on this planet and possibly other planets. So anyway, that's
and you were mentioning also well, the time is the amount of stuff we can do in like an hour, where normally it would take like 5 hours to do. If you really allow yourself to connect to that dimension, this is incredible. I download like teaching material and stuff like that in a month that I've never experienced that before. And also something that is very interesting that you mentioned, Michelle, is the memories, how the memory works. And let's say when you forget your keys, which is kind of usual, you know, standard stuff or something, it's how you're going to, instead of, you know, backtracking as a linear time, where was I, when is last time, where did I put my keys, when did I use them and everything, to just connect, you know, being to this vertical realities and say, okay, where is it? And just by asking the question like that, it's just coming back if it's right now, if it's meant to be. And if I need like five more minutes because someone is going to call me and then I still need to be home, this memory will come back 5 minutes later. This is incredible how intention manifestation and what the universe is showing us right now. And also something that I'd like to add on that's coming through again is more than ever listen to intuition and be very, very aware and careful on not being influenced by either your egotic mind or medias or, you know, news, anything from the outside. Feel, observe, breathe. And I have these flashes of influence, be careful, like those warning, be really careful of whatever influence. So influence could also be addiction, you know, all this kind of stuff. So it's just be aware of that. And you can tap into this memory also, you know, to Oh, that's an interesting concept that's coming through. To tap into those memories in order to help you with certain of your addictions. Do you see what I mean, or it's or you want clarification on that? Benoit, you see, Benoit and Michelle, you see what I mean? And you guys you can write on the chat if you see what I mean about tapping into this memory to different, to make the difference between, okay, is it, is it correct for me to do that? Or am I into those addictive patterns? We have so many addictions that are related to beliefs. So yeah, that's what I felt like sharing.
I can speak a little bit to the use of the word addiction and those patterns. So, one perspective is the whole world is, riddled with addiction right now, and, all of this. And my experience is that starseeds, light workers, they are very much craving and yearning to go home, to go someplace else. And there is a way in which there are substances on this planet that hold this vein of a similarity, that hold these pockets of bliss, or these pockets of connectedness. They don't last long, they're fleeting. But yet that is why I see people who, have migrated to this. I too did that for many years, was just trying to create a filter from the noise and also return to a more grounded and calm place where things were a little more buttery and just felt a little more fluid. So I now see this with my clients as it's not a moral dilemma. It's coming from this deep yearning to return to some place where there's more euphoria available to us, and more connectedness and more oneness, and this just softer way of being with one another and in the world that's not easily available to us here on Earth. So when I work with clients on let's get you there another way, then those self-medicating ways that they're using tend to drop off because we have replaced it with something else, rather than just yank it away and hope for the best and you got to white knuckle through it.
Yeah, quite often, but they also, go from one addiction to another one. And instead of understanding that, but the addiction can be like, I had the addiction of cashew nuts, it's just like when I see cashew nuts, I cannot, but because it helps me, I feel, but it's just to believe that it will ground me or something. I have no idea why I've got this addiction and where it comes from. But when I see cashew nuts, it's just like, I cannot stop myself.
I'd love to hear what Gary made a comment. He said craving is an understatement from what Michelle was saying earlier. I'd love to hear what Gary has to say.
Yeah, Gary, do you want to come on? You want to unmute yourself and
there we go.
There we are.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Benoit, my friend. I miss you so much.
Nice
yes.
To meet
Penelope too. I had a wonderful conversation with her, and it's very nice to meet you, Michelle. But one thing that you had said about light workers and Star craving that place, craving something else. And you were talking about cashew nuts as your addiction, but my addiction was I was going to the other realms and staying there, where I love the word matrix, but like the matrix kept trying to pull me back, and I kept staying with the spirit realm and the other realms, because that's where I felt comfortable. That's where I was craving that space and that energy. So when you said that, it hit immediately. And that's why I even posted that. It was just like, the craving is an understatement, because it's just this massive pull to be anywhere that is comforting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I know with my work, that's where I am. With my light work, I spend a lot of time in the other realms, in my meditations, in my readings, in my channelings. And that's home. And I know I'm not supposed to be there, but I need to be here and bring some home here. But it's just, I just want to be there. I just want to be there. So that's what that statement meant.
Thank you. Can I speak to that for 1 second? Is that okay?
Yes.
So one of the things, the way that I try to ease people into what you're referencing about, how much avoidant behavior or escapism is it to spend time in the other realms. So we are multidimensional beings, and those other realms are there for us to drop into and pull from and learn from and heal from and template from. And we came to Earth with the specific assignment of being embodied humans going through this existence. The matrix isn't separate from us. We are the matrix. I know nobody likes to hear that sentence, but we make it up.
Right.
We're not, there is no escaping it. You are it. It's how this works. So it's if you can just agree and have balance around, okay, I came here to be an embodied human, having a range of emotions as much depth as possible, so that I can bring that home to my soul. So yes, while my true home is in this other star system or with this other star family, while that's what you call your authentic or your true origin, what you're really wanting to do is just stay embodied as part of this avatar with your soul, so that you can take these experiences back to your soul and make it more whole, which is why we have so many lives, so that you can have every experience that is available in the Akash can be yours. And so by not walking into that, you're kind of just going to have to do it again another time. So you might as well do it now.
Right.
Yeah,
But like, there's a big piece that I know that what I'm bringing, I'm supposed to bring from home to here. And I'm sorry, Penelope, I jumped on you.
That's okay.
I'm supposed to bring this to here. I'm supposed to bring what I'm experiencing there here to share it with people.
Yes.
And that's what brings me back. But I'm just like craving. I just,
Yeah,
but I know I need to be here.
to give you another tip also, because something that for me, it's since I was born, it was always this craving, as you say, Gary, and to go home. And my birthday was also almost, something that it was making me in some sort of panic, anxiety, and everything every time. So I had to celebrate my birthday always before the date, because it's something that was so painful. So I needed to have my friends around me and everything to comfort me to, okay, it's good you're here, and, we're happy to have you here and everything, because it was so horrible for me to be on Earth. And so about, I would say, it happened was like 2 or 3 years ago. Someone told me, he was my so-called twin flame, if twin flame will exist or not, whatever. That's another subject. We'll talk about that another time. But anyhow, he told me, he didn't, I don't know, like at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he hadn't sent me a message, and I was so upset. And then I said, and he went through different things, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry and everything, because I know that your birthday, it's kind of so heavy for you, and it's kind of, how would I say it in English? Benoit, tu vas m'aider à traduire. Ça remet en question ton existence sur Terre. Yeah, it's kind of questioning your existence on Earth. Okay, so and then I started processing this information and all of that, and I was like, okay, it's out of my free will to choose how I want to live that experience on Earth. So I started working onto embodying this vehicle here, and starting enjoying my vehicle more and more. So starting, loving this vehicle. And after a while, also, and it was just a couple of months ago, a friend of mine, another friend, just pushed me. It was like, oh, you cannot keep the old name, like Virginie Becruz, that I was using for many, many years since I was a kid, and change it to Penelope. That was my birth name, my first name. And then suddenly I was like, I don't feel that. I don't feel it as much as before, this craving to go home. I can navigate, I can go there whenever I want, but it's not in pain that I come back to Earth. So it's really like trying to, okay, you starseed, you have a mission here, there's a purpose, whether you know your mission or not, yet, because you will find it out, and you can ask the universe, ask your guide, show me my mission, and when is the right moment, they will tell you, and or you'll find out in a way or another. And yeah, just having this joy of being here, that changing everything, because you're not in pain every time you're coming back to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Benoit, we don't hear you.
Oops, sorry, there we go. From what Michelle was saying earlier, the importance of being present with our emotions, and that is something that became very clear after I listened to something that Michelle shared, and the how we get lost into all our stories. We basically, when we get lost in our head, in our mind, in our thoughts, then we're disconnected from the experience, even to the point where we even stop breathing sometimes. That's why we got to yawn to put some oxygen back to the brain. The more we are connected to our emotions, the faster we get what we come to experience in this life. The faster we're ready to move on, then the less we have to come back to experience again and again until we get the message. And and I believe that we're really in the phase for humanity where we finally get to choose to experience life without thought. And it's a discussion we were having with my friend Kilo, who's with us today, and this morning, and living really. I don't know where I was going to go with it. Living. Just living in the moment, feeling all the emotions, and it makes so much sense that I'm going to focus even more on feeling the emotions. I like to create experiences that bring emotions. Then once I found an emotion that I like to experience, I like to recreate that experience to feel it again. And then ideally, if it's worth it, then create an experience that I can share with others, so others can feel this same emotion, although it will manifest possibly differently. But if it's a positive emotion for me, most likely it will be positive also for others. That's my way to contribute today, focusing on the awakening of the collective consciousness, bringing us back to unity consciousness, bringing back humanity to one conscious being, the only one on the planet, the only race on the planet that operates in separation. And all the other life forms on the planet operates in unity. They're all connected with each other. When we speak to one, we speak to all of them. With humanity, every single one is just in its own little shell. So, I mean, was until now. I believe that we're finally, just in this call, I can sense a greater sense of unity, where we are safe, just because we come together in peace, and we are open to all possibilities, ready to hear, observe whatever perspective others have to share, which is our gift to each other. Mm-hmm. So there's all this to say that I feel really blessed to be sharing this moment with you.
Yeah. You know that I've been triggered about like 10 days ago, something by a scientist in physics. And the guy, and we were speaking about the trees are connected and that everything is connected together. And he was like, yeah, someone showed me this research video and paper on the trees connecting and speaking together. This is completely absurd and everything. I was just so triggered. I was like, okay, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a researcher. How I'm going to deal with that? I was like, okay, well, you believe what you believe, and everybody had to go through their path. And it's also being into this humility of, you have you believe, but it's interesting to see, also to discuss, and please, as I said, everyone, all the time to the people that I coach, to my friends, do challenge me, do challenge us. If there's something that we're saying that you're not aligned with, it's okay, and that's how we're going to grow, because this is depending on our level of consciousness. So maybe by being triggered on something, that's how we can grow. So don't be afraid of being triggered. That's the best gift ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to chime in. My name is Jean-Pierre. I'm a an American from Paris, born in Paris, but I live in Mill Valley, California, right near my good friend Michelle, and I was the person she was referring to earlier. Wow, so many things that have been shared thus far really resonate with me, and yeah, Penelope, triggers are treasures, and really, it's the time to be triggered. I mean, ever since, well, I think from my assessment, the onset of COVID accelerated exponentially that level of being triggered because the whole world is triggered, and so we're, you know, it's been such an immense period of growth for me since that time, and yeah, it's like 2 years just fucking flew by without, just like that. And one of the things that I've realized about that became very clear to me, and it always has been in a way, and I realized that I am here in this body by divine appointment, that I volunteered to come to Earth to experience the 3D duality reality that we're in, and for me on a personal level, and ultimately that which I will model and can model for others is to clean my house, the house that's on many different planes of existence, and actually, my one of the you could call it like a mantra, but it's a part of a protocol that both Michelle and I are taking called SMGI, Somatic Mindful Guided Imagery. And the three basic ideas is that connect to resources, clear clutter, and rescue and integrate parts, soul pieces. And that is so true for me in my life right now. And also wanting to, embody being in my body. And, Gary, I totally get you. I go into those other realms, but, it's like, and I realize the work that I do, I'm a wellness intuitive, but I'm also a chef and a builder. So that's very grounding work, right? It's very grounding work. So it keeps me grounded on earth, keeps me in my body. It's to have that somatic experience of experiencing, whatever it is that I'm going through. And so I'm just, it's, we're also, it's also been mentioned about, us connecting together in unity. And I feel like, yeah, I'm finding my soul tribe, and when Michelle and I first met and we have a mutual friend of ours, there was an event going on in near his store, and we looked at each other and said, "Hey, I know you," and it was just like, we just like, yeah, oh, here we are, we've come back together in this time, in this amazing time of the shift that's coming. And wow, it's such a blessing, because then I don't feel so alone anymore, and I've felt that for a long time. And through my, traumatic experiences that I've gone through in my life, and being detached from myself, and now I'm just like coming full circle to come back to that. And so, wow. So it's great to be in the company of those who are also asking questions, also searching and sharing. It's like we're all in this together. That's really the bottom line. And I feel like, I'm just getting into gear here, because I've had huge shifts in my life. And as Michelle said, we've had some intense sessions together, and I'm blown away by it. I know she was. And it's like, okay, I'm ready for this. More to come. I'm complete. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you, Jean-Pierre. This is great. And you mentioned something that is I feel to talk about. It's when you said alone. It's so many of the starseed, they feel alone nonstop. So it's really having faith and trusting the process that you are not alone. We are not alone. We're here together. And I remember writing in one of my notebook in 2010, we will all meet at one point. So is it why I created a wish link? Probably because it's linking all those things. And it's beautiful. Of course, we all, have those, we all are having those down moments. Oh, I'm alone, I want to go home, but call out of people, that's why we also may suggest that to create a WhatsApp group. So we'll send you, if you want, for those who want, we'll send you the link of the WhatsApp group to join in, to share together, whatever, on the same format, like free speech, no judgment, and to share what you feel like sharing. So if at one point or another you feel alone and you want to talk with someone, because it's all over the world, you can always speak to someone. And this is really something that I felt like creating, to have those places where there's always someone to speak to that is on the, maybe not on the same frequency, but at least on a frequency that you can relate to. So I really feel that this is something that's going to grow, hopefully in a very easy way, because WhatsApp is easy right now. A lot of people are not on Telegram or Signal, and so for those, we will share you a link through Michelle, Benoit, and I, to each of you. And if you want to join, you join, and you will have the link. So if you want to get out of the group and come back, this is, again, it's all about free will, having the freedom to express yourself, be yourself, enjoy, and right now it's enjoying life. No, it's not just because it's summer, because I feel like very stuck in Paris here, but but it's the loneliness is something that's most, I think all the starseed are feeling that, all the light workers, just so we are here.
I don't feel alone anymore. And because of the visible friends and guides, but also just knowing that my inner guides, my otherworldly guides are with me, and they've always been with me. And so coming to that realization has really supported me in just feeling a sense of calm and groundedness, and that, no matter what happens, I have support. My guides have my back, and they have all our backs. All our guides do. And it's just coming to that realization that of acknowledging that that's even possible.
It's very true what you're saying, and also that I want to point out for a lot of people, kind of rested on that they're going to be saved by ETs or by the guides or this kind of thing. And it's just to be really aware that if people do not do the work at one point to connect with themselves, to love themselves, and to trust themselves, nothing will happen, because it's if each of us are working by ourselves and together, that's the level of consciousness is going up and the frequency is going up. So that's also some sort of new age belief that's been going around for a while, that we have the ETs are going to come and save us, and it's going to be so cool.
That's exactly what they don't want. And we're not this isn't a prison planet. We volunteered to come here.
Exactly.
There are a lot of truthers who are saying we live in a prison planet. Well, fuck that. We don't. We live in a planet we chose to come to. And so that the mantle of responsibility is on us, is on me. I'll speak for myself. The mantle of responsibility is on me to act accordingly, and to be in this world the way that I choose to, because of free will. And, we live in a duality. There's there's no way around that in this moment. So it's like, for me, it's like, how do I choose to live my life, and which path do I follow? And come what may, but I'll be able to handle whatever comes my way. See, that's the thing. So anyway.
You know, I just want to, I'm sorry, Michelle was about to talk and I jumped in.
No, okay.
Like with the pandemic, I think it had to happen because I'm watching most of my clients and people around me, they all got to that point where they realized, well, this is up to me.
Yes.
I have a decision. How do I react to it? Or how I do this and how I do that. And their lives have changed, not because they were in a prison. They actually made the conscious choice to break their chains and see who they are. But I just wanted to jump in and like say, I love that. I mean, I don't love the phrase prison planet, but it does highlight exactly what most people have seen themselves, where they and watching that transition after these past 2 crazy years. So many people have walked away from their old lives, realizing that they're in control of their lives and they're actually seeing who they are, really seeing who they are. Okay, sorry.
I want to speak to the ETs are going to save us comment. So, you know, there's the 3D and 5D are in the same place, right? The 5D is a place that you are living in regularly, part-time, dropping into occasionally, based on where your frequency is at. Inside of the 5D frequency, ETs are here saving us every minute of every day if you want to connect into them. It's a telepathic conversation that you have where they are there and can say, hey, listen, this is largely a mindset. This is a mindset. Your freedom is found.
And Michelle, can you start again? Because you froze completely when you started speaking about the 3D,
sure.
5D.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. So 3D and 5D is already here. I mean, 5D is here. Anyone can live in it. It's based on where your frequency is. The higher your frequency, the more you're able to connect in telepathically. ETs are here telepathically and talking to us and guiding. And I got to say, saving my life every single day with the information that I'm getting, in that they're connecting me back into the truth of who I am, or helping me do that. So, you know, you had mentioned something about, there's a comment you made earlier that made me think of something that my own team has shared with me, is that think of ascension, our ascension and Earth's ascension, as like a giant tidal wave. And we will all end up at the shore, and you have choices you can make. You can get there by riding easily and with ease on the top of the wave, and you just coast and you can see all kinds of things, or you can get there via the undertow. And by the time you get to the shore, you're going to be beaten and bruised and battered and have 27,000 stories to tell of horror, right? So it's all, though, a mindset, and it's all like, where do you want, what is the choice that you're making daily of, do you think things happen to you, or do you think things happen for you? And, you know, like you said, the triggers, I believe that every single thing that happens in our lives are these beautiful opportunities. Like, you know, whenever I go on the Galactic Federation ship, there's like this entire bay that looks like a holodeck. It's like straight up Star Trek. And inside of these, there's all these simulations, and you go into these simulations to have experiences that you can then bring back into your soul without having had to have them in the same way that we are on Earth. So every single thing, whether it's somebody taking your parking spot or whatever, they all have intentionality. Like, they're all there so that you can dig underneath and say, where is my growth here? Where is my soul's evolution in this moment? What do I need to look at? Where do I need to pause to see that there's something here that's juicy and that's meant for me? I just need to get they're all pieces of treasure. And so, you know, this piece of disclosure also, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit here, is like, when are they coming? Well, they're here for a lot of us already. I mean, we are already speaking with them. And that is something that's actually pretty easy to do. It's pretty easy to start to do, you know, astral work, where you can board ships, you can do all kinds of things, and they are actually available right now. And they will laugh if you say, are you going to save me? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, the triggers are going to save you. All of these triggers, all these horrible things.
Exactly.
Your state, your entire bliss and unity and is all found in the shifting of your mind. And Benoit had said, you know, this next version of us has less thought. And that's true, because when you clear away the thinking and the thoughts, then your knowing just shines. It like just emanates from your high heart. Your knowing, it's like, if we drop out of this brain and just take all of our energy down, it's actually not that difficult to really drop into what you know to be true about yourself, about humanity, about narratives being told in different mass medias. It's all just this really beautiful and divine opportunity that we all get to make 1,000 times a day. You know, how and where are you going to operate from? And do you see everything as gifts or like crappy things that happen, you know? So.
Yeah, I always tell the people, people around me, it's like, or in my clients, okay, what do I have to learn from that experience? So everything is key to growth, towards growth. And as you said, connecting when I said ETs, it's because I hear that so often of people were still in this, not to judge anyone, but they still kind of resting in the sofa, like they were in front of TV. Yeah. Oh, the ET are going to save us. That was the way I was saying it, because I know we're reaching out to them and they're here and everything, and they're guiding us, and they are so good at putting us in front of the right experience at the right time, and they're so amazing for that. But a lot of people think, oh, you know, the ship's going to go down and they're going to come with a ladder and we're going to go up on the ship. Cool. No, and so this is when you think that, it's just like, you still have to work, you still have to put your work into action, and if you have a key, if you don't take it to open the door and to see what's behind the door, nothing's going to happen. So it's just like also allowing things to happen, because there's like this infinite possibilities. But if you don't let's say, put things into action, if you don't open the doors to the wish to discover and to jump into the unknown and to learn, and not much is going to happen to you.
It's called living life. So we talked about prison planet earlier, and for me, from my perspective, the only prison that we create it, and it's our own body. That's when we get we identify as this body, and then that body, which has an ego of its own, is limited by this this perspective, and so it brings to the concept of choice. We have choices to accept this life, and we can use this body, this vessel, for the 3D illusion journey, to make choices that we allow to make the best of this experience. So it brings back to, is it free will or is it destiny? Well, if we're really destined to experience everything that we've chosen to experience before we did incarnate in this life, our free will is to actually make the choices that allow us to experience what we're meant to experience. So it's a combination of free will and destiny all working together. And it goes back to the last thing that Penelope was talking about, which is the action. That our choice is to make action, basically, that we start living life the moment we start to act, that life only exists in motion. And even in stillness, there is motion.
And the moment you make a choice, you have your sovereignty. I don't know the right way to phrase it, but your sovereignty is back the moment you make a choice. So it's whether you choose, and the choice is not, I was saying that to a client of mine 2 days ago. It was the choice, if you have white and black, it's not specially to choose between white and black. You can choose both. So it's not specially just one thing. You can choose multiple things at the same time. If you want a new salad, coriander, mint, or parsley, you don't have to choose between the three of them. You can have the three of them. So it's just at the moment you make a choice and you're comfortable with your choice, you have to use sovereignties back.
Oh, and Gary was talking about coming down from the head down into the heart. This is something that I use every day to bring people down into the heart, because in the heart is really where we make our choices. And something that is very helpful is just to touch our heart, just putting our hand on our hearts. There's a reason why most people pray with their hand on their heart, just to bring back our consciousness, our awareness down into the heart, where we can make choices without the noise of all the thoughts and ideas and wants and desires and fears and, you know, all these things.
And also to observe what was the first thought that came up. The spontaneity is massive, is a beautiful key for that. To have the first thoughts before doubting. If you doubt, you in your mind most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to add on something, Michelle?
No, I'm just, there's just a lot I'm experiencing of different beings that are just like, yes, yes, and more, and they're just saying things a lot, and they're wanting me to cram. I'm like, it's noon, this ends in 11 minutes, just calm down. So yeah, there's just and the beauty is when these, you know, groups, and whether it's live Facebook or YouTube, even the collective, that when you listen to this after the fact, it's the same as having been dropped in this moment all together. And there's it's this network, you know, this network of light workers, this network of people on this same path. And when we connect to one another, those channels stay open. And that really is what helps us drop into that feeling of being a part of a beautiful family where you're understood and just feel like it's all going to be okay.
I would love to hear, I don't want to put you on the spot, my dear friend Kilo, but I have a feeling that you have things to share with us.
Yeah, there's just one thing that I wanted to answer after what Michelle said. It's the power of your thoughts. So just remember that, just observe. We might do something, we might do a special quantum conversation just about it, because it's really the power of thoughts is really underestimated. It's so strong. And to do something maybe like that with intention manifestation, to do like a whole maybe workshop on it. So this is something that's just coming right now. So hello, you want to talk?
Kilo, if you want to join, you have to unmute yourself.
I'll hop in here. Can you guys hear me? How's my volume?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm kind of where Michelle was at, where there's just a lot of yes and resonance across different space and time and masters and elementals. And, you know, we're all congregated here now, and it's in like resonance. So if I'm going to feel into what's going to be the most pertinent to be able to share for our own collective evolutionary process, it's this idea of judgment that wants to come forth at this time. And while I was sitting here with everybody, we literally talked about everything that you could possibly talk about at this time. And what I really appreciate about that is, you know, we talked about these ideas of duality and good and bad and 3D and 5D, except the way that I was experiencing it on my end was I heard notes. And as I felt each and every one of you speaking, it was like a different sound. And together we were interweaving this harmonic symphony. And it was the most beautiful piece of creation. And when you feel these pieces of resistance, these trials, these challenges, this darkness, the evil agendas, all the other stuff, for me, those are just like really guttural bass sounds, but they're there and they work well in the cosmic symphony. But what we do is we get attached to that defining an aspect of our life. So we hear this really gnarly sound and we're resistant to it and we cut it off. And if you've ever cut off like a note playing, it doesn't sound well. But if you just let it play out, it moves through you. And as it moves through you, it can create music, it can create beauty. And so I guess the initiation or the call to action that I was hearing from all of the beings supporting us in this space was, can we let the note that is ourself play out and be heard by others in this space? Can we not just do a choreographed dance, but can we allow ourselves to be seen in our own unique freestyle? And Penelope was talking about this flow and having, freedom of speech. But I feel like we're all afraid to be seen in the raw essence of what moves us, not what we've learned how to do through our coaches, teachers, guides, all this other stuff. I love all of these beings, but I feel like what these beings do for us is they support a safe space so that we can reclaim our authenticity. Because when we're younger, we live in this planet where we trade our authenticity so that we can survive, so that we can feel safe. So now we're being re-given a safe space, whether it's, angelic beings or ascended masters or elementals, whatever path you choose. And in this safe container, we're now able to resonate as ourselves and truly sing out as the vibration that we are. And I feel complete with that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Kilo. And we did with Benoit and Karine on the Quantum Mondays that we do in French, a workshop on Be Yourself. And it was also part of also expressing yourself, speaking your truth, and allowing yourself to get out of your fears and stuff like that. And what emotion belongs to who, etc., etc. And that was really, really powerful. So we can easily organize that to do a workshop on Be Yourself, to be able to communicate freely without being afraid of the judgment of the other. But the thing is, quite often, what I've noticed is people who judge, it's also because they judge themselves first. Like people who lie, they lie to themselves first. So it's also something to observe, and it's also to inspire people. If we, each of us, do not judge, we all judge at one point or another just by giving some opinion, or we have a thought or a vision on something. Is it a judgment, or is it just like, okay, this is how I feel? What is it's very subtle. The line is very subtle. So it's observing how more and more we can get out of this judgment to be able to express ourselves more and more. Even here in this space, how we're going to, some people might be afraid of talking because of, if someone is going to see the live YouTube and they hear or they recognize my voice, what's going to happen? Just those kind of stuff. So how you can just free yourself from all those limits of those boxes, those kind of safe, so-called safe space we're in. So yeah, so thank you, Kilo, for noticing that.
Yep. Thank you, Kilo.
Wow.
Time is going there. I wanted to just because I want to hear his voice. My another important friend is on this call, and we're planning to have him join us down the road, probably by the end of the summer. And his name is Sean, and I would love just to hear his voice on the call, just to say hi and say anything if you want to. Sean, are you listening? Are you here?
I'm here, Benoit. Great to say hello to everybody. Hi. Here, I'll turn my camera on too. I listen intently. So, and Kilo, beautiful. I'm so happy to at least see you. So I've heard a lot about you.
Beautiful.
So Sean is going to join the team on the 1st of September. We're going to do a special event, inviting Sean to join us and the event. So this is like the highlight. To have a good start, it's going to be a special on Mercury retrograde and what are all the triggers of Mercury retrograde and how we can navigate through that. So we'll do that right before the next one, which is going to be on the 1st of September at 9 p.m. French time and noon. So same time, but on the 1st of September for a special. So we are so happy you're joining us, Sean. This is so cool.
In short, Sean, for his hobby, because he's he does a lot of things, but as a hobby, he's an astrology expert. I would just call it simple.
He was like, yeah, when I met him, I was like, wow, blown away by his work. So we're very, very happy about everything that is going to share with us and teach us, and and all those new things. So we're getting close to the end, and this is the time for a few things. First, before we getting the messages from for our guide to close this space, it's just to tell you, well, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we'd like to reach at least 100 people so we can change the name and not having like an endless code with many numbers. Also, so this event will take place every 22nd of each month. And wherever we are in the world, we'll find a way to make it work. The 1st of September is going to be special. If you have suggestion of, special or workshop you want us to organize, please ask. Everything is on the website. You have the contact of everybody on our website. So go for it. We'll share the link of the WhatsApp group if you want to join, etc., etc. Yeah. So now it's time to see what maybe Michelle can help us with that, to see what we can, there's any message for the collective right now. I normally do it, so I'm quite happy to have this, done myself.
When there's a short amount of time and it's something that needs to sort of like really embody a pretty decent activation, it usually comes through as light language. So if you guys are open to that, we'll just do a moment or two of light language that's coming through. If you're not familiar with light language, it's an ancient galactic dialect that there are thousands and thousands of versions of it. Many, many people on the planet are remembering it. It's not something you learn, it's something you remember. And it comes through, and it doesn't translate exactly to words, it translates to frequencies and concepts. And it is used for clearing, it's used for upgrades, it's used for many wonderful things, and you don't have to know what it means or understand it, but your cells do. So, okay. Ayatia kuaraya shakera nana kuaya tata. Ira etato kuya ya neatatakia tatokua. Iria ya tu shuya titea kanaya tatakatata. Iria ya tua ya nayatatekia nananokotoa. Ria tatea ya nanana titea kato. Iria ya tua ya shana ya tatea kataya nanakatatakata. Ria tua ya neanana kia tatea katutokoa ya nanatata. So this translated to them just bringing through this really beautiful, buttery, easeful, liquidy light. So it was like a blue lotus light frequency, and it just brings through some joy, and it releases a little suffering from your cells, and it's just like a little cherry on top, essentially. So yeah.
It's funny because I heard at one point I started laughing because I heard kind of being a little sarcastic about yourself, cynical, sometimes making fun of yourself also. It's just like to bring more joy.
Yeah.
So yeah, to bring some joy into your life and at all time.
Yeah.
Benoit, you want to add something?
The only word that keeps coming is gratitude. I'm actually really grateful for the group that we are. It's actually, I'm really happy to see Gary and Sean and Kilo together on this call, and especially really happy to reconnect with Gary and have his energy come here with us. Gary is somebody who's had a big influence on my life a long time ago, and I don't know if he remembers, but yes, you did. Very powerful. And
but
so
you also had an equal influence on me, and I don't think you know that.
Well,
because you since that one day, that conversation we had, which I think you're talking about,
yes,
you have never left my heart and mind.
Likewise. Likewise, my friend. Thank you.
You've had the similar experience with Benoit, that's for sure.
So I'm so grateful that I shared so many beautiful experiences with so many beautiful beings, and there we go. And we just shared a lot more today in this call. It's so amazing. Oof. So gratitude and grateful. That's the summary for me at 111.
I had. Okay. So yeah, gratitude is, remember to be grateful for every experiences, and also grateful for what you're doing and the work you're doing and why you're on earth, to be grateful for that. So thank you so much, everyone, for being present and for being here and sharing this first episode of a new Team Quantum conversation. And look forward to see you on the 22nd of July.
Yes.
Again, for a
Right.
new
Take care.
unknown discovery and new challenge.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.